to, and how do you find your own role into this space?
Yeah, so I'm a freelance recruiter, and I've been doing the vast majority of my work through Blockchain Headhunter now for the last 18 months or so. As you rightly point out, there's about over 100,000 followers across various different social platforms. And the vast majority, of course, of those followers will be on LinkedIn. There's also about 8,000 or so on the Telegram. There's a couple of thousand on Discord. There's a few hundred on Reddit. And yeah, it's a huge brand in the Web3 space. It definitely has the largest social following of any Web3 recruitment agency. I struck up a relationship with the Blockchain Headhunter agency about close to 2 years now. I was freelance recruiting, and it's been very successful on my side working with them over the past 18 months. Thoroughly enjoying it. And obviously I have to do some of my own freelance work as well, but the vast majority of my work comes through Blockchain Headhunter, and it's afforded me a lot of networking opportunities, and I've been able to work on some fantastic projects with some fantastic candidates, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And what can I say? I suppose in the bear market now things are significantly quieter, but I suppose now is when we learn more about the underlying technology. I'm finding for the first time in a long time, I'm actually kind of just recruiting 40 hours a week rather than 100 hours a week, and so the bear market is welcome, I suppose, from that perspective.
Right. And when I was watching your podcast with Dutch Web3 folks, I found out about that story of North Korea, the recruitment in North Korea. It was kind of very interesting to see and hear about it. So quite fascinating as well on your experience with recruiting in North Korea region. But as you're recruiting across different cities around the globe, so what is the key challenge do you find when it comes to interacting people from the cultural, from the cultural viewpoint and from cultural perspective? How is it like recruiting in Web3 space? And
I suppose it's very easy to generate biases when recruiting from all over the globe. I think stereotypes just naturally pop into your mind, so you just have to look beyond them sometimes, and it is a bit of a challenge, but it can also be a warning sign as well, that you know what to expect sometimes as well. So it can work both pro and con, and so I suppose I've been lucky enough to hire from all over the globe. And the best part about work, the best thing I find about working in Web3 is that there's not salary discrimination based on location. It's very much proof of skill, meritocracy based system, and it doesn't there's, for example, hiring developers is much more about your GitHub repos and your previous experience and how you can code rather than your Ivy League school or anything like that. And it's absolutely fantastic. A developer from India or Pakistan will often command a relatively similar salary to one based in Europe or the US, which is fantastic. And again, it's I think it's democratizing labour markets really. So that's one thing I like about recruiting around the globe, especially within this industry. And I suppose when you consider maybe countries like Pakistan or even India, I suppose they've been developer sweatshops, I suppose, for a lot of these big multinational companies over the years, and now in Web3 they're getting their fair share as well. So that's absolutely fantastic, and I think that projects are less discrimination about location with respect to individuals. And what can I say? I suppose it's really great hiring across the globe. It just means that I suppose I'm up all now hours at night, speak to various different people. My calendar is open 16 hours a day. Usually my calendar consists of speaking to Asian or Australian-based candidates at night or in the morning, and people from somewhere like San Francisco over here at like 10 o'clock at night. So the nature of the industry we're in. Yeah.
When I was just watching the Dutch Web3 podcast, I also heard you saying that you would spend 3 hours writing your own content. So my question here, that's fascinating. Like when it comes to time managing in your own space, when you're working in different time zones and also contributing the content from your own experience, from your own learning out there and sharing it with the masses. So would you recommend what different channels would you go to when it comes to your own learning about this space? Because I do see that in this future of tech space, there is also a lot of noise out there in the market. Well, things are changing really fast, but I literally find it so hard to keep myself up to date or up to speed with so much of content out there. So what's your best practice when it comes to getting up to speed with latest projects?
So just read the white papers, read various different books. This was one of my favorite books in the blockchain space is Blockchain Basics. Just gives you a basic, you can use that as a reference point. For example, come back closer to home, I've also been kind of nipping in and out of John Green's book Cardano for the Masses as well, and there's various different books navigating the metaverse as well, and there's multiple different books that I've read over the last year or so, as well as white papers and YouTube videos as well. Just stay away from the influencers.
Right, yes, I heard you saying that. Staying away from the influencers, true. And I also heard you mentioning about LinkedIn and Telegram and Discord are the key channels that you will recommend.
So Reddit, for example, is a fantastic place. If you're curious if you're curious about development in an ecosystem or something about a programming language, you'll find that there's a lot of insightful conversations going on in Reddit, and I've found myself immersed many times in some very interesting Reddit threads as a viewer, not a participant. So there's various different Telegram. I suppose if you wanted to get involved in Web3 as a career, there's various different DAOs, join their Discords, become involved in the communities. Again, it's all social at the end of the day.
As you